Good morning, my friends. This morning we left Thorpe, the manor house, and we got to fly the drone. It was fabulous, although we had to wait an extra hour or so for the rain to stop in order to make that happen, but it was very much worth it. I think it's some of my better footage taken over the manor house, so you'll get to see the valley. From there, it was over to the lovely Harewood and then on to where we will be for the next week in amongst York. How much do we really need to cover about Harewood, really? I've covered it once or twice before, and my favorite item in the house was not on display today as they were changing over the exhibits and this room was closed. And the room I'm speaking about, of course, is the room with the very, very large, fabulous green bed in it. So, although it was interesting as we went around the house backwards and we got to see all the things in a bit of a different perspective, in a different order, uh, you got to see some things you normally wouldn't notice. So that was interesting, but it was still a touch disappointing that we didn't get to see the bed. All right, so the house was designed by John Carr and Robert Adam and was built between 1759 and 1771 for Edwin Lascelles, the first Baron of Harewood. The landscape was designed by Lancelot Capability Brown and spans about 1,000 acres. It is still the home to the Lascelles family today, but of course it is in trust. Harewood, as we see it today, was created by merging two adjacent estates. The properties were combined when the Wentworths of Gawthorpe bought the neighboring Harewood estate from the Ryther family. The combined estate was sold to the London merchant Sir John Cutler in 1696, after whose death it passed to the Boulter family, and later they sold it to the Lascelles in 1721. Edwin Lascelles employed John Carr to design his new country house. The foundation was laid in 1759, and the house was largely completed by 1765. Robert Adams submitted designs for the interiors, which were approved in 1765, and they did include some small changes to John Carr's original plan. The house remained largely unchanged until 1840, when Sir Charles Barry was employed by the third Earl of Harewood, Henry Lascelles, father to 13 children, who all survived into adulthood, to increase the accommodation of the house. Barry added a second story to each of the flanking wings to provide extra bedrooms and removed the south portico and created formal parterres and terraces. Parterres are the lovely gardens we see at the back there. In 1922, Henry Lascelles married Princess Mary, the only daughter of King George V. They initially lived nearby at Goldsborough Hall, but the couple moved to Harewood House on the death of Henry's father in 1929. During the Second World War, the house acted as a resident convalescent hospital, but by the late 1940s, the Princess Royal and her family had moved permanently back to Harewood, where the house and gardens were regularly opened to the public, along with some concerts that they held. It is now the seat of the 8th Earl, and the house and grounds obviously have been put into trust. We then drove over to where we will be staying in York, and we'll be here for about a week, and base will be there, and we'll be doing little jaunts from there. So I'll see you soon.